Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with SEO and marketing manager Bill Sebald. He is the founder and managing partner of Greenlane Search Marketing, LLC, where he consults enterprise and e-commerce brands on SEO, PPC, CRO, analytics, and display. He works with brands like Petco, the Philadelphia Eagles, Spotify, Urban Outfitters, and dozens more. He is also a recognized writer and occasional speaker on SEO topics. He teaches digital marketing at the university level. It's a great interview. Enjoy.
Cool. Hey, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out for the program.
Oh, my pleasure.
So before we get into your life, I want to know, over the last 3 years, we've gone through quite a thing with the pandemic, and it's worked on all of us in its very own unique, distinct way. And I'm curious how you survived that time period and how it's changed the way that you live your life and conduct business now.
Survived it by the skin of our teeth, like I think everybody's saying. But the funny thing about it is the pandemic changed a lot of things in the ways that everyone's doing business. We, at Greenlane, we were already doing that hybrid model. We were already kind of used to being apart and to being together, but, functioning well apart. So when we went into pandemic, we were still okay. We were still pretty skilled at being, not in the same room together and still servicing clients. So, yeah, things, funny enough, didn't change much for us. What changed the most was probably the clients that we have. Their businesses changed. Sometimes they couldn't get product. They don't need a marketer if they can't get product. So that was probably the biggest changes that I saw. We were a little bit lucky through pandemic.
So did you see an uptick in business?
Surprisingly, we didn't necessarily see an uptick, but we didn't really lose anything. We had maybe one or two clients that vanished, and then one of them came back. I think we've only lost one client through the entire pandemic.
Wow, that's great.
Very lucky.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get to the essence of exactly what you do, and let's do it this way. I'm going to hypothetically put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids, third graders at a career day, and you're talking to them, and one of the kids looks up and asks you, what do you do for a living? How do you answer that child?
It's like when my mother asked me what I do for a living. So we're called SEOs. That's the concentration that I'm very focused in. My agency does a lot more than just SEO. We do other things in search marketing. My specific background is SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. I started doing this way back in 96, and we called it hacking search engines back then. So SEO is essentially growing from that concept. Now, SEO is essentially a marketing channel. It's not so much about manipulating Google anymore. So when people say, what do? I work with brands who want to perform better, to be seen, to show up more in Google. I help brands show up better in Google for searches.
So when you were in the third grade, what was your dream? What did you want to be when you grew up?
A rock star.
Of course. So are you happy with how everything's turned out right now in your life?
I'm thrilled right now, and I can even tell you, I came up as a musician. Rockstar, was everything to me. I worked my butt off, and it fell through. I got close, got a record deal, but it just didn't go anywhere, and just kind of died on the vine there. But I was wise enough in my 20s to use that opportunity and meet people, learn about other people in the industry, try to be nice and network. And at that point, that was right when Napster was happening. RollingStone.com didn't even have a website yet. So the people at the record labels were willing to talk to me, were interested to talk to me. They said, you seem to know a lot about this website stuff and the internet stuff. Can you teach us some things? And I realized that because there wasn't any good content online at that point about the music industry, I could try to do that. So I jumped in and made a website. Didn't last very long. By then, RollingStone.com did come out. Everybody else started to realize, hey, the internet's real and it's going to be here a while. And I just wasn't the strong website to survive that. But I was able to, work my way through that. And that's when SEO really kicked in for me. So if it weren't for music and the failure of my music, this industry would have probably never fell into my lap. And this has just been, the greatest thing that's ever happened in my life. It's great to go to work every day and love what you do.
It's wonderful how the serendipity of all that happens. You just don't see it then, but it can materialize later on. Let's go back in your life to where you were born and raised and how these seeds got into you obviously the music was in you, but how did these seeds of marketing and being who you are today begin and blossom into you now?
That's an interesting question. I've always loved making music for people. I've always loved, even if I do photography as well, I've always had that performance mind, right? Let's make something for people. You've always heard the rock stars say, oh yeah, I make music for myself. If other people like it, great. I've always been the opposite. So for me, it's always been about promotion. It's been about letting people know, who you are, what you're about, what you do, what you sell, whatever, whether it's in music as you're a performer performing, your art, or whether it's in SEO and you're just trying to get people who are interested to find out about what you have and what you're selling. It is performance in a weird way still, because you're putting on, marketing is performing. You're putting words together almost musically sometimes to try to create a feeling, to try to create, send a message.
What was the first live concert you ever saw that really blew you away?
That's a good question. So it was in the Allentown Fairgrounds of Pennsylvania. It was 1989, and I think it was it was Poison. It was a hair metal band, Poison. Remember them?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, my wife is totally stuck in that heavy metal era. So yeah. I've
to me, I can't let it go. I listen to a lot of sophisticated stuff now, but then I still go back to like Warrant and Rat and all those bands. It's a lot of fun.
I always wonder with Allentown if people in Allentown get tired of that Billy Joel song when it comes on in the bar.
I'll bet they do, but you don't hear it very often anymore.
Right, you don't. But I asked somebody about that. It was a younger musician some months back. I was like, let's say you go into a bar in Allentown, because that's where they're from, and that Billy Joel song comes on, and they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I may have just given you the greatest gift in the world of not knowing what that was.
That's amazing. What a great song, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. It's wonderful. In your life, who's been a role model or a hero for you?
It actually started out as musicians. They were really my biggest role model. And musicians, I think, some of the ones who were really outspoken, believe it or not, like Frank Zappa, somebody like that, who sometimes has controversial and crazy off the wall things, but he also had a lot of really thoughtful things to say, and in his music as well. So that was where I really found the art of music. Kind of found him going backwards from like Eddie Van Halen to like Steve Vai and then eventually Frank Zappa. You hit a composer and you start to realize music is a lot different. And the way that he conducted music, again, everything about my 20s was thinking I was going to continue doing music and being a team player and learning this. But everything that I've learned in those years, I still use today in business. I think it's so funny when I tell people that a lot of times running a business is just like running a successful business is a lot like running a successful band. You have to be really good at understanding everybody's feelings, interests, their goals, and you have to work together. And there's a lot of bending and a lot of, it's like a marriage. There's a lot of meeting in the middle and a lot of things.
So if you could meet any musician alive right now and spend some time, maybe interview him, who would it be?
I've thought about that question myself, and I don't know, because most of my favorite musicians are not around right now.
Let's say anybody that's not around, who would it be, the one person?
Put me in a room with Frank Zappa, I would enjoy it forever. Put me in a room with Eddie Van Halen, I'd be happy forever. There's a few like that I just would love to just hang out with for months, years maybe.
So what are you the proudest of that you've done in your life up to this point? Of all the things that you've done and accomplished, what is it that you're the proudest of?
Greenlane, my business, for sure. I mean, I actually went out once on my own to do this marketing. I was working with all these big brands, and my joke used to be, if you walk into a mall, I probably did their SEO. So it just started to grow, and then I never made it as a rock star in the music world, but I kind of made it as a rock star in the marketing world. So while that was fun, the truth is the business is running well. Everything is running well. And, ultimately my whole life, I wanted to be independent. I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to do stuff I was proud of. So the company that I'm running right now is exactly that.
So what has been one of the best compliments you've gotten from your business, from the work you've done?
The best compliment really is that we work with clients who send work our way. When somebody can refer you, when you're doing such a good job that they're telling other people about you, like we don't even have a sales team. We don't have anybody who's trying to hit the street and go door to door. Most of our business is from referrals.
So what is it that motivates you every day? Every day we wake up, we have things we want to do. What is it that ultimately drives you through a day?
For me, it's challenges. I love waking up and going, all right, tomorrow, this is what I'm going to work on. Building things, that kind of, it's songwriting. Again, I keep taking everything back to music. But getting up and building something new and watching it, get completed, get launched into the world, and then see how it sort of survives out there. I love that. Definitely a builder.
For sure. So everyone out there has a perception of you, an idea of who they think you are, different bubbles and pockets of people, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
So people see me a lot as a pretty wild and outspoken kind of guy at times. Like, I'm not really that shy about things, but the reality is I'm pretty quiet. You know, at home, I'm a homebody. I don't go out very much. So people sort of see this outspoken kind of loud guy, but I'm really kind of a private, socially awkward type of person. So a lot of people are surprised when they find that out.
Cool. So Bill, if anyone out there wants to learn more about you, your company, anything related to your world, where can they go?
I have lots of things. If you want to learn about me and the work I've done in SEO, just Google my name. It's Bill Sebald, Sebald. There's so much out there on it. There's other stuff. I've got some music out there. I run a podcast called Too Much CGI, which is a fun classic pop culture podcast that's doing really well. But if you really are interested in learning more about SEO, because I know that's, where a lot of people's interests are, they're trying to really demystify this thing. I would love to help. I love being helpful. So you can find me on Twitter at Bill Sebald. You can find me on LinkedIn just by searching my name. You can go to greenlanemarketing.com. Any way that you want to contact me, if you have any SEO questions at all, I'd be more than happy to be helpful for you.
Right on. Bill, this has been great, man. Thank you for opening up. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Thanks for tuning into another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.